Hi friends, Marley here and welcome back to my Roadside Homestead. The date today is March 25th, 2023. In today's video, I will share with you what plants are growing in my Zone 7 Kentucky garden. Let's start with this laundry basket. This is the basket that I used to grow potatoes last year, and I have a couple of pak choy cabbage that are growing in this planter. Next is my strawberry tower. I have redone this strawberry tower a couple of days ago, and then we had rain, like lots of rain, and look at how beautiful these strawberries are. I dug these strawberries from one of my raised beds because I had to plant some kale and lettuce, and so I needed a room for them, and I decided to transplant these strawberries into the planter. Now these stackable planters came from Dollar Tree, and as of now there are 10 planters. I can actually put one more, and I'll probably do that here in a couple of days. But so far, look at this beautiful strawberry plants. Look at that, guys. Very healthy. These plants were fertilized with a slow release all-purpose fertilizer, and then I put some rotten sticks and logs in the bottom of this planter to hold on to the moisture. Over here we have this huge bunch of oregano. This needs to be cleaned. We have the dead stems of oregano from last year, and all of this that you see in the ground are the new growth. There is one project that I need to do. These are the thyme right here, and I'm gonna need to move the thyme somewhere else and just let the oregano grow in this area. This is one of the raised beds that still has the strawberries. The strawberries will stay in here. This needs to be cleaned. As you can see, there are lots of weeds and some dead leaves on here, so this needs to be amended as well after cleaning. Now over here I have a 4x8 raised bed. Half of it is still full of weeds and like mixed up with some things that are growing. Like we have a couple of tulip plants that are growing in here, and then a few strawberries over there. This is where I got those strawberries that I planted in the tower. And here we have some kale plants. They're still small, but they will grow quickly. And then we have a few of the lettuce, and we have another one here. So some lettuce seedlings, and then we have a couple rows of some pak choy cabbage. So here's one good looking pak choy cabbage right here, and they don't take a long time to grow, really. Probably like in a week's time, this pak choy cabbage plants will grow a lot bigger. I know this next raised bed is still very messy because I just dropped the dead plants in here last fall. We have some strawberries growing in here, but these strawberries need to go. Well, actually, look at that, guys. We see a couple of strawberry flowers, and then this is a pleasant surprise, a volunteer lettuce, because this used to be a lettuce bed. I had cabbage and broccoli in this bed as well, but I don't see any volunteers. The only thing that's growing from last year is the lettuce, well, aside from the strawberries that I planted in here as well. Here I have a suitcase planter. It used to have sage, oregano, and thyme, but now this is mostly oregano and then a little bit of thyme on one end of it. So this one needs to be fixed. Next, right here, look at all of this cilantro that are growing back. These cilantro plants were planted spring of last year. One of the first plants that I planted in this round raised garden bed in the middle of my garden. And if some of you have seen the DIY fountain, this is the DIY fountain that I need to fix. because I left this out here over the winter. But look at this amazing cilantro. Isn't that cool, guys? They are really super pretty. Next, we have another raised bed, and look at what we have growing in here. These are my carrot plants. These carrot plants came from the carrot seeds that were dropped in the ground from last year's carrot garden, and we have plenty of them that are growing in here. So I'm just gonna clean this up so that the carrots can thrive in this garden. I probably have shown you this raised bed before. It looks like snow, but these are shredded paper on top of the dirt, and then I have some of the amazing garlic planted in this raised bed. This is a 4x8 raised bed that is full of garlic, store-bought garlic, guys, that I planted last year, and then I saved up some heads to be planted for this year's garden. These were planted around end of January, early February. And look at how big the plants are right now. I had to dig some of them out of the paper because the paper has compacted, but other than that, these are growing really good. As you can see, we also have some plants that are sticking out of the ground in this part of the garden. This used to be just grass, and then I dug like about 18 inches to 24 inches and then cleaned it up. And then we have some tulips planted in here. We have some daffodils. So I just alternated the tulip plants and the daffodil plants on here. That is path, so it's full of weeds. And then we have some more of the tulips, daffodil, tulips, daffodil, and that's how I planted them. I alternated 2 tulips and then a daffodil bulb. And look at this. We have plenty that are growing actually, and as we continue going towards the end of this garden, you can see that the plants are getting bigger. It's because these were the first bulbs that were planted in here. I did the planting in 3 stages just because we have very short days that time in late January and early February, and so these were the first ones that were planted. These ones in here are actually already big. Look at that. These are beautiful tulip plants. All these bulbs were saved up from my last year's garden, so I did not spend any money on the flowering bulbs this year because I saved up the ones from last year. Look at this big bunch of plants in here. These are Shasta daisy from last year. I planted them late, and that is why they did not get to flower last year, but hopefully this year I can see some beautiful flowers from my Shasta daisy plants. It feels so amazing that I already have some plants that are growing out here in my garden at this time of the year. Later this afternoon, I'm gonna plant some more, and tomorrow will be another day of cleaning and planting my garden. Well, that's gonna be all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna see you again in my next video. Have a great day!